Are you still not convinced of Mary Barra's proclivity to cut and cut again? If you're watching this video and you don't know who Mary Barra is, maybe you shouldn't be watching the video. Mary Barra is the CEO of General Motors. If you are still skeptical on this point, a read of The Incredible Shrinking GM, Mary Barra Bets That Smaller is Better, written by Mike Collias for the Wall Street Journal, can help. Collias' story was published on Friday, September 18th, 2020 on the Wall Street Journal website. Collias aptly sums up the success at the core of Barra's tenure as CEO of GM. In nearly 7 years running GM, Ms. Barra has found success with an unlikely strategy, shrinking a company that for much of the 20th century was the nation's biggest corporation by revenue and profit, end of quote. Barra's strategy is great for the conventional car business. Collias reports GM, quote, has notched record operating income and profit margins, end of quote. He also claims Barra is now focusing her product strategy on, quote, electric and driverless technology, end of quote. The profits have been impressive, as this chart demonstrates. As we have written, or as I have written, the profit story is compelling, but the markets Barra is after, EVs and AVs, require enormous investment. Collias does his due diligence and notes this in his story. Quote, it will be many years before electric vehicles take off, analysts say. High battery costs are likely to keep prices higher than conventionally powered cars through most of this decade, and a dearth of charging stations in the US will dampen consumer interest, they say, end of quote. Collias reports GM has committed $20 billion to building its EV business, but I don't think this is enough. The biggest costs required by a shift to EV production aren't topped off by the battery tech Collias mentions. They actually amount to the social costs of retraining workers for the world of EV manufacturing, a world built on a powertrain of dramatically fewer parts and a much longer period of time between maintenance cycles. To get this job done, GM will need to look at service providers adept at delivering successful change management projects. And GM isn't alone in this. Every major legacy car manufacturer, if the term legacy can be applied to this industry, is hit by this. Unions exist of people who are mechanics for combustion engines. All of that technology is changed in the EV world, and these manufacturers are going to have to find a way to pull the workers along with them in this huge pivot. And that's what's taken years and years and years for the major players in this legacy car world, meaning the world of cars that all of us are driving on a daily basis for the most part, into the future. And so the impact of that social inertia can't be overestimated. And investors who miss out on that are missing a big, big point regarding EVs and AVs that they should really think long and hard about. Change management projects are usually expensive. A big part of the cost resulting from the failure rate of these projects, industry standards are 80% of these projects fail. If Barra is really determined to succeed in the EV market, not mentioning the AV market, she will have to have the patience to tolerate failure. We're simply not convinced she will go there. The past track record has been a lot of talk about investment, then magnetizing other companies, other people's money, OPM, Honda's money, Toyota's money, Volkswagen's money, even leveraging a deal with an empty company, Nikola, to magnetize interest. But when it comes down to GM plunking its own dollars into the deal, she's been reticent because profit is her big driver. Collias' story is helpful. His take on Barra's quest for profit focuses on the bloat Barra's predecessors tolerated. I think he's right. Barra has staked her claim to success on cutting this bloat. The dedication to EVs and AVs is, comparatively speaking, an afterthought. Bottom line, I'm not ready to provide a conclusive opinion about how much stamina GM under Barra has to go the distance in either market. But I will admit to some of my own skepticism. We haven't discussed AVs in this video. Why? The topic is a very big one, even with regard only to GM interest in participating in the market. Perhaps I'll dedicate a coming video to the topic. My name is Ira Michael Blonder. I'm the CEO and founder of IMB Enterprises, Inc. I'm interested in business management strategy, executing selling strategies, and marketing enterprise software businesses, and particularly early stage ones. Please visit us on the web at https://www.imbenterprises.com. Please also check out my Twitter page at Mike the Bebop. Speak with you tomorrow.